But the first thing I want to ask you, I wanted to ask you about the Home Guard.
Yes, you did say.
Yes, and I think you said you were in it briefly.
Well, I was.
And I can't understand that because you must have been much too young.
That's right. I was too young.
Yeah.
I mean, all I wanted to do was go into the Navy, since I was about 10 or 11, you know.
Yeah.
But I went into the Home Guard just to fill a gap up.
How many were in it in Bampton?
I think there might have been as many as 20 altogether.
Were there?
I think, yeah. 18, 20 sort of
Yeah,
thing.
and were they all elderly and you were the baby?
Oh yeah, they was all elderly.
You were the mascot?
More or less.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can remember Robert Colville, Major Robert Colville, saying that until very recently he had some wooden sticks in one of the sheds there, one of the stables there.
Yes,
which they used to practice with.
they did have. Yeah.
Yes, do you remember
But
that?
by the time they did have them, but by the time I'd joined, I mean, we actually got rifles.
They had?
We'd got rifles and some uniform,
Yeah.
and I did fall foul over the uniform. As a
Did
matter
you?
of fact, I went down.
What did you do?
Well, it was a bit drab, and I had it tarted up a little bit by putting the seams in a bit more different. And the greatcoat, I had it taken up, and of course the slit up the back of the coat was lengthened as well for the buttons and that to go in. And they did tell me off about that because it was government property, but it was better than most of the others, you know.
Look smarter.
Yeah, it's not, yeah.
What did you do? As you know, did you meet every night? Did you meet every week? What did you do?
No, but once a week probably.
Yeah.
In the hall, or sometimes you might go away out to Otmore, that sort of thing, for practice one thing or another, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the rifle with no ammunition, obviously.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And did you take it seriously?
Pardon?
Did you take it seriously?
Oh, I always done. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Because I mean, when we did have some ammunition, I was determined I was going to sort of get balls, as you know.
Yeah. Do it
balls
properly.
Yeah, do it properly.
Yes.
Properly.
And where did you imagine the Germans, which were the enemy, were going to appear from?
Well, as the war progressed, we thought perhaps it was going to be mainly parachutists, you know.
Oh, right.
Yeah, mostly parachuting.
Because I know they put pillboxes along the Thames, didn't
All
they?
along the Thames and in Bampton.
Was the one in Bampton?
Oh yeah, outside the Jubilee.
I never knew that.
Oh yeah, outside the Jubilee. Big one there.
Was there?
And down towards the Buchan Road they just had sort of a swinging bar, you know, to shut the thing off, but no obstacle really. But yeah, that was the one there.
Well, when did that go from outside the I've never even seen a photograph of that.
Oh, I can't remember when it went. It was
After the war.
yeah, back I suppose late in the 50s probably.
Yeah, yeah. Did they have air raid shelters as well?
Pardon?
Air raid shelters. Did they have them?
Well, only at the back of the school.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, from where we're sitting at this point in time,
Yeah.
I could see it looking straight that way.
Really?
Yeah,
So in the field?
It was wood. It was wood and sandbags.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Really.
It's funny, but it makes war seem sweet almost, because it's so,
Well,
I don't know, it's almost cosy when you describe it. A wood with sandbags, you know, it would do no good at all, really.
Well, yeah, it was better. Well, you could say it's a little bit better than nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, you had some laughs out of it because, especially some of the equipment we had.
Oh, yeah.
Dear. We had one piece of equipment called the Northover projectile, and what it was like a drain pipe with a breech, and what you'd done, you put a lemonade bottle in there, and I think the charge was 5 gram charge, I think. But this bottle was full of SIP, self-igniting phosphorus.
Oh, wow.
It was shooting at a tank, you know, open that.
Yes.
Shooting at a tank in there.
Yes.
And we took some of these over to Stan Lake area and fired some off, you know.
Just to practice.
Practice. But the downside was some actually hit the water or fell into water and was broken, and Pat Irons, that was in there. I think he was a sergeant at the time.
Was he? Yeah.
Anyway, they went in to get these SIP bottles out, and of course the ones that had broken, well, it was okay while it was wet, but as soon as it dried out, you see, the trousers caught fire, you see. Phosphorus, as soon as it loses the liquid, it
Ignites.
ignites.
Well, it's a sort of mixed image, really, of terrible and very funny.
Yeah.
Yes. And you told me that story about a man with very small feet. Who is that?
Oh, with the shoes?
Yes.
Ah, that was, we were getting some boots on this occasion. We were in the village hall,
Yeah.
or the institute as was there,
Yeah.
was there. And they're taking down the measurements, size of the shoes, 11s, 10s, 9s, 7s, 7.5s or whatever.
Yeah.
And they came to a friend of mine, Frank Preston, fairly short bloke, but well built as well. And of course, it was going along as 5s, 7s, 9s and all this. And they got to Frank, and all of a sudden he said 5. Of course, and everybody sort of got look, trying to see what a man's shoes were like a size
Yes.
5.
No size at all.
5.
Yes. Yeah. But mostly memories of that of a good fun time. When you finished with the Home Guard, or did you finish with the Home Guard because you went into the Navy?
Yeah, while I was in the Home Guard, I'd already volunteered for the Navy, you see, but I was
Yeah.
too young.
Yes.
Too
Okay.
young.
Yes.
And as soon as I got my call-up paper, that was the end of the Home Guard.
Yes. And off to join the Navy.
And they got my greatcoat back. It was
All altered.
yeah.
The only fashionable greatcoat in Bampton.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Is that because you could sew?
Well, I didn't. I got someone to do it for me.
Oh, you
see,
did?
put these lovely pleats in the top of the
Who
tunic.
did it? Do you remember who did it?
I can't remember.
Oh. Alas?
I can't remember. I've got.
You
I
can't remember who
I
did
just
it?
can't remember who I
No.
got to do it.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were doing...
No, because we had a lot of ladies that was handy with the needle and
Yeah,
thread, you
yeah,
know. And
yeah.
they,
But I mean, I know you're a very good cook. I didn't know if you could sew as well.
no, I can, but I mean, it's,
Okay. Not smart stuff.
no.
No.
I
Okay.
can knit by making nets, but I
Can
can't
you?
sew or nothing like that. No.
Did you ever knit anything beyond
I-
the scarf, or did you
I
knit?
tried knitting a sock once.
That is quite a complicated
Mm.
thing. Did it work?
Well, at this particular time, I got one of these knitting machines called a Passap, I think it was called, and I hadn't got a proper instruction, so I got one of a foot about this size, and I added a few more stitches on, a few more rows, and I ended up with actually doing this foot and turning the heel, and then up towards the ankle. Well, the foot was about this long, and the leg bit was. I thought, no, my wife said, "Good God, never mind about another one."
Not very useful.
No.
No.
Yeah.
So then you joined the Navy.
I was going to say before about the Home Guard. One
Yeah,
other thing
yeah.
we had in the Home Guard was a thing called a spigot mortar, and what it was it fired a projectile,
Yeah.
and it had 3 great big legs on it to anchor it to the ground, you
Yeah.
know. And the instructor, we went to fire this spigot mortar, and we fired it, and it actually hit a shed. It hit a shed and killed a fox. Killed a fox and hit a shed, and the instructor said that's the only time you'd use it that you'd ever hit anything. 'Cause, I mean, it was useless. I mean, by the time you fixed it up, it weighed a ton, you know.
Where was the fox? Was the fox in the shed?
Well, I don't know whether it was in the shed or just outside, yeah. That's the only time they, you know.
Yes. Well, no wonder we didn't get attacked. You know.
It was useless, honestly.
Who was your Captain Mannering figure?
Webb from Wheel. Major Webb was he, or Captain Webb? I can't quite